It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Monday morning. I am here, of course, with Fletcher.
You know what? We've reached that part of the year where it's, do we air condition or do we run the heater? It's a tweener right now.
Both. Concurrently, if possible.
Hi,
if
happy
you're
Monday.
Smart enough to figure that one out, run them both.
Yeah.
Good morning, Ryder.
You know what A-bomb means?
Certainly. A-bomb is what some people call our program.
That's exactly right.
Steve, did you see? I'm sure you saw Rocky this weekend. Did you get a look at Bullwinkle?
I did not see Bullwinkle. We were looking for him.
Oh man!
Oh, right.
Up in the Lutz and Grand Marais area. Beautiful weekend.
Nice.
The young lady and I, and there was a report of a bull moose in the area, but we tried our best. I wanted to see Chauncey see a moose, and then it didn't happen.
Hopefully you had both hands on the leash.
Oh, always, yeah. He doesn't get far.
Chauncey think he can take the moose down.
He can take down everything. You should see him when he sees. It's bad enough if he sees a horse. So the bull moose would have been good. We were looking, no luck. But a wonderful weekend as it was, and I'm sure we can all recap our weekends at some point. But right now, I think the order of business as it is first thing on a Monday morning. I'm feeling Minnesota, by God. Paul Fletcher, what are the headlines?
You know what? Got to give a congratulations. Let's start with a congrats. Linda Wallenberg, an educator and gymnastics coach, has been named the 2025 Minnesota Teacher of the Year. Get this. That's right. Get this. She's got 49 years on the job. She's been at Eden Prairie High School since 1977.
Wow.
She believes teaching is a calling of love and aims to create a sacred space for her students to feel seen and trust their voices. I tell you what, in today's landscape especially, teachers are a different breed, man. That's just all there is to it.
Fantastic.
So,
congratulations to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Have to recognize. Now, this one's crazy. Holy moly. Audrey Backberg, or Bakeberg, I think it's Backberg, who disappeared in 1962 at age 20, has been found alive and well by the Sauk County, Wisconsin's Sheriff's Office. It turns out that she, now 82, disappeared by her own choice and not as the result of any nefarious criminal activity or foul play.
Atta girl, she just tapped out. I love it.
That's right. According to the Charlie Project, they're responsible for missing persons cases. She married Ronald Backberg at just 15 years old, and their marriage was troubled with allegations of abuse.
Oh, my God.
I mean, she actually filed a case, I guess. So she sort of made the allegations of abuse. But apparently she wanted to get away from it all, and so she went off on her own. The family's babysitter reported she hitchhiked to Madison before taking a Greyhound bus to Indianapolis, where she was last seen walking away from the bus stop until now. Sauk City's office reevaluated the case earlier this year, leading to the discovery of Audrey living, and she appears to be happy.
Where was she? Do we know where she is now?
No. You know what?
Okay.
I also looked to see if she was still married to this Ronald guy.
Of course she isn't. She got rid of him.
I would imagine not.
Yeah, I mean,
She bolted.
That's why she left. Screw that guy.
Oh, you think that's where it happened?
Oh, well, if a child bride and files abuse, she's on the run. She's not going with him.
I thought she ran because it was a controversial marriage, and so that she ran away with him. That's what I got from it.
But, no.
With him?
But, yeah, that's what I thought. We can read it in different ways, I guess, but that's what I saw, but I get what you guys are saying, and that makes sense,
Well, there's no report of him being missing, so therefore, no, she just bolted, man. Good for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep on running, sister.
I can't believe we blew her cover. She was so close.
I know,
right? And then on top of that, she made a choice to not re-engage with family, et cetera, and just decided to do her own
she
thing.
She said, this guy's beating me, and they were like, oh, deal with it. Screw all of them. Good for her.
Fair enough.
I'm on team whatever her name is.
Audrey.
Yeah.
Team Audrey.
Team Audrey. Yeah.
Billy Joe Armstrong says a movie based on Green Day's 2004 album American Idiot is still a possibility. After a successful run as a musical on Broadway and London's West End, there was talk of turning it into a movie, with actor Tom Hanks reportedly showing interest in producing. In 2013, there was a script. In 2016, Billy said that HBO gave it a green light. And then in 2020, he said that it's, quote, pretty much been scrapped. But now, after so much success on Broadway, etc., there have even been runs in Australia, Italy, Germany, England. Billy Joe says, quote, it's traveled so well, eventually it's going to happen, I would think. So now we are apparently back in the yes group of American Idiot, the movie.
Okay, I'm going to be cool either way.
You're indifferent.
Yeah, this hasn't ever hit my radar before.
You know, I had to see the play as like part of a work thing, and I'm like, oh, it's a musical. This is going to be dumb. And I actually really liked it quite a bit. So I'm on board for the TV show.
Right on.
All right, fair enough. Remember we talked about Pee Wee Herman's iconic bike?
Yes, we did.
It was going to go get auctioned off. Well, it recently sold at Van Eaton Galleries. The bike was one of only 14 made for the film and has been restored to maintain its original appearance. The surviving elements of the bike have been preserved, making it a very valuable piece of film history. When we talked about it initially, you predicted $75,000. You were very bullish.
I did.
$125,000 is what it went for.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, listen, man, I've been a part of one auction, and it was for stuff that our kids made in preschool, and I got caught in the moment because it turns into a competition, and there's no way I was going to let that accountant's wife, who always looked at me sideways, get that toy chest. A couple cocktails, and everyone's waving those flags, and all of a sudden you're bidding like crazy. I'm like, $300 for that? I'll go $350.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pee Wee Herman bicycle, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you got like $5 million in the bank. What's $125,000?
Bang, that's awesome.
So there you go.
There you have it. All right, let's talk about some sports here really quick.
Okay.
Over the last 12 months, Anthony Edwards has ushered Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic from the postseason. And next up would be Steph Curry. Just go ahead and take down all the legends who are still currently playing while you're at it. And tomorrow night, the series begins. Golden State Warriors just eliminated Houston like 5 minutes ago. They're on their way here right now, and they're exhausted. And I can promise you it won't be a walkover series, but Game 1 is already done. Minnesota's boat racing the Warriors in Game 1.
You're making me so nervous
Not
right
a chance.
now.
No
Wow,
way.
talking like that.
No, they've got all that playoff experience, and they are a fine team, and Steph Curry's one of the great players of all time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They've already given up on Game 1. They're like, Steve Kerr is on the plane going, okay, guys, listen, don't worry about this. What we're going to do, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I'm just saying.
We're going to take a nap and call it good.
I'm still taking the Wolves in a I don't want to be too crazy here. 6 at least, maybe even 5. As much as I respect the Golden State Warriors, they are troubled, and they are thin, and they are tired, and they don't have anywhere near the size that they're going to need. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm mostly looking forward to Draymond and Rudy Gobert, who, you remember Draymond put Rudy in that headlock a couple years ago, got a 5-game suspension. They just flat out hate each other's guts.
All right.
So an interesting matchup then.
It's going to be a very interesting matchup. The Twins took 2 out of 3 from the Boston Red Sox. The weekend's best story was Cody Clemens hitting a 2-run homer with his dad Roger in attendance at Fenway. It's
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's way cool.
Kind of cool. So the Twins are 6-14 on the road, but 2 out of 3. Hey, it's a heck of a weekend. The Minnesota Frost will open their title defense Wednesday night at Toronto.
Yeah.
The Frost won 4 out of 6 with the Toronto Scepters this season. So, our reigning champions back in the postseason, as they did a year ago, took them till the last second to actually get into the playoffs. I'm not sweating it. I'm also not paying any attention. So, Paul, I'm looking to you for insight here.
I think you actually just hit the nail on the head. You get those teams in every major sport, like whether it's football, baseball, hockey, you get those certain teams that just they don't show up much in the regular season.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to when the chips are on the table, so to speak, they perform, and we only have one season to go by.
Sure.
But that seems like the type of team that this is. When the stakes are highest, they shine the brightest.
Just a reminder, the one season they won.
I was going to say, when you're one season as a champion, then you base everything on that. You're like, damn straight. You remember back in 24. You can't say that enough.
Yeah, 100%.
Say it as much as you like. Want to give a shout out to Buffalo. Glad to have you with us. Buffalo, Minnesota. Woohoo! Hey, Buffalo.
That's where we get our Ford Bronco fixed out there in Buffalo.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah, so props to them.
Very good. Glad to have you with us, Buffalo. Hey, KQ's Bestest kicking off. Oh, yeah, so many categories if you want for the KQ's Bestest. Go to the website, 92KQRS.com, and start placing your votes, man. We are going to get into a few of these. 92KQRS.com. You can get in on the bestest of 2025. All kinds of things on the list here. Let's talk about bestest burritos quickly. Yeah. How about that? Life-giving, almighty, life-affirming. I will eat almost anything wrapped in a tortilla. I don't know that there's a food I don't enjoy that I wouldn't think would be better if it were wrapped and presented to me burrito style.
Careful, we might put a stunt on you.
I'll work some Captain Crunch into a burrito. I don't care.
Go for it.
Okay.
Bestest burrito. Do you have one off the top of your head, or do you want? Is there one rider you go to, or do you want to just look at what the nominees are?
So the one in St. Paul, El Burrito Mercado, I really like that one. They start with a good base of rice. That rice is very tasty.
Sure.
The one that's on the list that I'm intending to get to is Brito's Burritos. They've got one in St. Louis Park. There's a bunch of them, but I hear it's supposed to be spectacular.
Okay, all right.
Fair enough.
I'm a burrito fanatic. I don't see, but the Burrito Mercado, that's the one. It's the only one on this list I can actually say without a hesitation. Oh, I've been there. I know that one.
Okay.
Right.
The other ones, and forgive me, but I've been to play. The first year I was here, especially, I was going places, and I'm the guy who always says, "Oh, I'll remember this," and then I never remember where I've been, and then I have to go somewhere and go, "Oh, I was here before." So, but Burrito Mercado's pretty darn great. Paul, you're shaking your head.
No, I was just shaking. I was actually shaking my head no in agreement, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I constantly have spots where I want to go and I forget. But El Burrito Mercado is the only one that I'm familiar with as well, unfortunately. I wish I could add something more on one of the other.
Campo's tasty too. Yeah, but if you've got a favorite, 651-989-ROCK.
Or 651-989-ROCK, or of course, but most importantly, you need to get to the website and vote. We're going to be
do that.
running down a few of these bad boys throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the next few weeks. It's a very exciting time around here.
Yeah, and just a quick plug for ours. You don't have to put any of your info into vote. We're not going to send you any kind of email, and we are going to have results in just a couple of weeks. It's not like you vote now and don't find out until August who won. So there you go.
Expedited quickly.
Hooray!
Very
Now, really, I think what becomes most important now is that we figure out who can deliver breakfast burritos to the studio. Anytime now.
That would be the winner. Whoever could deliver in the next half hour, that would be the winner, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'd take that. Hey, let's talk about something that...
much love to JTR Roofing for sponsoring this whole thing.
Thank you very much, Ryder. I would have been remiss had I not remembered to thank our friends at JTR Roofing. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. A couple orders of business. First things first, the burrito recommendations are flying in. Thank you for those. Make sure if you're going to take the time to text us that you go to 92KQRS.com and vote for the best burrito on KQ's Bestest. We'll let you know all the winners within a few weeks. We got 1 million categories up there. Actually, it's 1,000,007.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if you counted.
That is the magic number. Hey, let's talk about baby names, and let's talk about just how insane we get over things like, I don't know, baby names. A whole lot of parents recently discussing the fact that their grandparents are weighing in on what they should name their babies. If you have ever been through the situation where you and your beloved are planning to be parents, who do you think should get a vote? I mean, is it like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? The fan vote ultimately only equals of one vote? I mean, do you put the word out? Do you bait the hook and let your friends know what you're thinking? What do you think the protocol should be here? I can tell you right now, my favorite advice I ever got, and I assume it's the best advice because it worked, about this situation. My older brother, Jim, I called him to say, hey, Rosemary's pregnant. We're having a baby. And the first thing he said wasn't congratulations. He said, don't tell anyone ever what you're thinking for names.
Yeah.
And I go, what? Really? He goes,
yeah.
You and Rosemary, don't tell any single person what you're thinking about. When the baby's born, name it. And then tell people the name, and you will save yourself a ton of grief. Now, this is a guy who at that time already had 4 kids. So I think he'd been through a whole lot of ups and downs and lefts and rights.
Yeah.
And we followed that advice, and it was great. And we gave our kids, well, the name Connell's not very common here. It's very common in Ireland. Not that we live there, or not that I ever would. But anyway.
But still.
But anybody, people go, what's the name? Oh, nice. Whereas I guarantee you, had I said we're thinking if it's a boy, we'll name him Connell, people would have been like, well, that's really weird. That's how are you going to spell it?
Yeah.
You never know. He's going to be the one in school with a weird name.
Why not just be Connor?
We just ignored all of it. You know what? We got both because he's called Connor all the time
I bet
anyway.
he is.
So
yeah,
you know what happens. But this is the crazy part to me. Grandparents weighing in. My mom never wouldn't have ever occurred to her.
She didn't say anything?
Never. No. Well, I'm her 8th kid, and I was the 6th one to be expecting a child at that time.
Okay.
So I think maybe if she had ever, but I don't think she ever would have. I don't think she ever suggested to any of my siblings along the way, hey, maybe you should do this. I'm blown away by grandparents getting involved because at the end of this is a whole big story. I mean, the story we're looking at, a lot of grandparents really disappointed in the naming of their grandchildren.
Do you think it's because they want the grandkids to be named after them?
If it is, I wish they would just come out and admit it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just looking for a high five and you didn't get it. Get on with yourself.
I didn't. When we named our kids, we took it incredibly seriously because we felt like this is the first thing in identifying who you are, who you're going to become. You know what I mean? Because you look at people all the time, you say, oh, that guy's definitely a Samuel. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's an important part. We never got that advice that your older brother gave, but that's exactly what we did. We didn't tell anybody anything. And you know what? In this story that we're talking about, it says 69% of grandparents think it's fine for, I think it means to say parents, not grandparents. 69% of parents think it's fine for grandparents to have an opinion. Sure. I actually wouldn't have a problem if my parents had an opinion, but they don't get a say. They get 0 say. There's 2 votes, me and my wife, period, the end.
So where did your guys' baby names come from? Like, how did you pick them out?
Our oldest was kind of it popped. It's funny. I got an album in the mail, vinyl, at my job in Omaha, and I pulled it up, and it's a band, a Gaslight Anthem. The lead singer has a side project called the Horrible Crows, another Crows band, and I pull it out, and right there in front of me it says Elsie. Okay. And I went, oh, it turns out those are that name has history in both of our families, which is awesome. It just worked out perfectly. And so that's where we came up with Elsie. It was kind of like just, out of nowhere. But it turns out it had family history, so it worked out great.
Nice. Yeah. And number 2?
Evan. When my wife suggested Evan, I was like, "Are you crazy? No way, absolutely not. It's gonna be a girl. We're not because first we didn't find out, so we named it on the spot, and the second one we did find out just to do it differently. And by the way, side tangent, if you're having your first, highly recommend not finding out. It's the one thing you can't control, right? The one thing you don't have control over through the process these days. But when she first said Evan for a girl, I'm like, I don't think so. 48 hours later, I was like, yeah. Well, I'm all in. So, but again, that was just between us. We didn't share with anybody like you. Because, I mean, imagine, the opinions we would have gotten if we'd have said, we're going to name our second daughter Evan. Like, it would have been probably endless, I'm guessing.
I would imagine that would be the case. My brother Jim, same guy who gave me that good advice, years before, he had a buddy in Baltimore, a good friend of his whose name was Connell. And he didn't spell it the way we spelled it. He spelled it Connell. But Connell, I just always thought, what a cool name. And then with the first time I went to Ireland, I met a couple guys named Connell. It was just always like, that's a good name. It just hit my brain in a good spot. And this is an absolutely true story, which my wife can verify. She is very early in her pregnancy, and we are at a mall, and we go into the maternity store, and she wasn't ready to wear maternity clothes yet, but she's like, well, let's go take a look at here.
Some window
and
shopping.
We walk in, and at the cash register, there's just a big stack of 10,001 baby names. It's the first baby name book we ever saw.
Right.
And I picked it up and I looked at my wife, and this is how I go, what's the name I love? That's what I said. I go, what's my boy's name? It just wasn't there. And I opened this book up, and honest to God, to the page, and the first name I look at, Connall, Connell. And I went,
all right.
She said to me, she goes, Connell. And I just turned the page over to her, and she was like, no way. And it was right there. And I was like, that's a done deal. If we have a boy, it's Connell.
It's just speaking to you.
And then years before that, long before we were, I don't even know if we were married yet. We may not have been, maybe married, maybe not. But way before thinking of having kids, we were standing on a dock, having just gotten off a boat on a little vacation, and Rosemary, out of the blue, just looked at me. She goes, you know what's a great name for a girl? Marley.
Nice.
And I said, you think? And she goes, yeah. I mean, I'm not suggesting we name a child after Bob Marley. I just mean the name. I love that name. And I went, okay. And we just filed it away. And it was on the list for both. We didn't know either kid's gender, so we had names. We had boys and girls names ready, depending on what happened. And so Marley was there for the first one, although it would have been a second. Marley was in second place for the first delivery. I believe had Connell been a girl, he would have been Hazel. We were
not bad either.
we
I like
were really
Hazel.
big on Hazel. And then we had eliminated Olivia, which is good because both my kids went to school with like 11 different Olivias. Boy, that name has got some juice. Now, Ryder, the tortoises. Let's discuss the naming and how did they get those names?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, the tortoises are named after Mr. Ryder's record label, so it's really dumb. They're all like In It Records Tortoise of Death or Urtod.
Nice.
And then I think his dad named one of the tortoises, and it's Susan Tortoise Face. Because I think this was during a
Is that the full name?
I think this is during a Bodie McBoatface
Oh, sure.
type deal.
That
Right.
checks out.
So yeah, that's where those came from.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a bunch of grandparents admit that they have pretended to love a child's name, but they didn't really love it at all. I'm curious if you ever had a beef with your parents or your in-laws over your own baby's names. Top names hated by grandparents. These are names that grandparents have admitted to disliking. Aurora. Okay,
It's a bit of a stretch, but I mean,
There's a lot of vowels
worse.
and it's hard to pronounce,
Yeah.
especially for like little kids. So it's going to be hard for Aurora to say her name
Awawa?
the first time.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Awawa. Awawa.
Charlotte. This one surprises me.
Yeah,
Charlotte.
that's a
What's
great
wrong with
name.
Charlotte? I mean, I'm not a fan of the town, but as the name goes, it's just fine.
I
Yeah.
love a Charlotte, and then you can call her Charlie. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. Elijah. Okay, a little Old Testament-y.
Ryder actually just nailed it. Our Evan was the second name in line was Charlotte in parentheses Charlie. You just nailed it. So yeah, Elijah. I don't know. That one's just kind of whatever.
Okay, this next one, Finn. F-I-N-N.
We had that on our list.
Yeah, I mean, I know a Finn, and I don't like him, so that's actually a joke. He's a good kid. He's a friend of my friend of my kids. He's a great kid. Jack, who has a problem with Jack?
Jack is old as.
I would think that'd be Grandpa's favorite name. I got a son named Jack. He's the kind of kid. You scrape his knee, he just rubs dirt on it, and gets right back
whether
in the game.
1923 or 2025, Jack works, man.
Then
Noah.
Then it's you don't know Jack as
That's
an
it.
insult. and-
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Noah,
you
I
punched
get,
in the
I
face
get,
by
I get the
Jack.
Noah thing. I mean, Noah's going to hear about it when he's a kid going to school. And where's your animals, Noah? I mean, but whatever.
Well, get the animals to back it up.
One of my
Two of
closest friends
everything.
since 6th grade has a son named Noah, and as far as I know, he's just fine.
All right.
But this is one. You know what? Grandparents get it right occasionally because this is on the list. Tabitha. Yeah. If my kids,
no.
if they're gonna name a child Tabitha, I'm gonna give them a sideways look. I'm gonna love the kid. I'm not gonna hold it against them, but I'm gonna look at my kid and go, really, Tabitha?
I think your job as a grandparent is to just grin and bear it, and you just don't
That's
even
true.
tell anybody in the family anywhere that they don't like the name. Just get behind it.
I don't know. You want that grandkid on the inheritance? I think you pick out something that grandma and grandpa like.
Now, this is the job. This is the job of the grandparent to sit back, grin and bear it, and support whatever your kids decide.
My brother Tom did put my mom to the test when his son Eric was born, 1984. He called home, from the hospital. The call.
Yeah.
This is at a time when long distance calls still cost money. So, as a general rule,
Big
it was
deal.
like tick tick tick, 3 minutes is good enough. And he called, "Hey, Mom, everybody's okay. Debbie's fine. Baby's here." And he told my mom, full of emotion, that they had named their child Norman Gorman. And she was like, "Huh?" And he hung up the phone. And it was 2 or 3 days before we got confirmation that was not true. And we were like, "Oh my God, he named a kid Norman Gorman," and that one just sat there. And I watched my mom just struggle. My dad, no two ways about it. What the hell's wrong with him?
Yeah.
But my mom couldn't, so she was just eating her alive.
They were squirming though, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
she was not feeling it, man. No child ever named Eric was ever. That name has never been received with more gratitude than when 3 days in we found out that was actually his name.
If you're not going to keep the names to yourself, that's the way to do it. Give something ridiculous.
That's right.
And then no matter what the other name is, what the actual name is, they're going to be fine with it. Well played.
Sputnik Gorman.
Norman Gorman, that's awesome.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the Morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Blondie, one way or another from Parallel Lines. There are few things in life that were ever cooler than Blondie in 1979.
Fair.
Holy smokes.
They were doing
man, and Clem Burke, just lost him last month. What a drag. Still one of my favorite drummers. It is 7 a.m. It is May the 5th. Cinco de Mayo. Ooh. Now it dawns on me. I'm so glad we weren't on the air for all that May the 4th crap. All right, let's get on to headlines.
Oh, come on
Paul
now.
Fletcher, we're feeling Minnesota. That's just a little swipe at you. I know you care.
I watched 2.5 Star Wars movies yesterday.
That's wonderful.
Showing some
in the
restraint,
background.
I feel like.
Yeah, well, you know what? And when they show the old stuff, the prequels that came after, you just don't get my entire attention. That's all there's to it.
Okay, did they end the same way they always do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
just checking. Just
exact
making
same.
sure.
Yep.
All right.
Luke is still a Jedi.
Cool.
Nearly 24 University of Minnesota students gathered Friday for the annual meeting of Lettuce Club, a contest to see who can eat a 1-pound head of iceberg lettuce the fastest.
All
Nice.
these crazy kids.
Wow.
I mean, think of what they used to do. Now we're eating lettuce. Like, they've gotten very, very healthy.
That's very, very true. I thought lettuce was a slang, a euphemism.
No,
you're talking
actual
about a
head
head
of
of
lettuce.
iceberg lettuce.
I don't know how you get that thing down, man. If it doesn't have some ranch on it, I'm out. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Ethan Lai. He put down in 3 minutes and 30 seconds with the help of some ranch dressing, like I said. But Ethan won. So congrats to him.
A head of lettuce. Okay.
3.5 minutes.
I know a band from a long time ago, from a land very far away, a long time ago, whatever those words are. Just quick diversion. Every other year in November, they had a party at they all lived in the same house. They were a band called Uncle Green, and they had a party called Arnch. Arnch, A-R-N-C-H. That was a word they made up. And if you wanted to attend Arnch, you had to do two things. You had to swear that you would never tell anybody what happens, and you had to bring 3 heads of iceberg lettuce. And because I was never able to attend, to this day, one of my closest friends is one of the guys that hosted that party. He will never tell me what happened during Arnch. Honest to God, they're lifelong.
secret
I mean,
club.
it's Warholian performance art. So anyway, still trying to get somebody to let me in on what happened on Arch. But eating a head of lettuce in 3 minutes, that's impressive.
Even with ranch, that's still impressive, yeah. All right, this is impressive by authorities. Brazilian authorities arrested 2 male individuals for allegedly plotting an attack on Lady Gaga's free concert at the Copacabana Beach, which drew over 2 million fans. The suspects were planning to use improvised explosives, including Molotov cocktails, according to police. No explosives were found during the operation. Authorities said the two are part of an online group promoting hate speech and attempting to recruit other teenagers for acts of violence.
That just turns my stomach entirely.
Yeah.
Glad to know they were caught.
Yeah, way to go, Brazilian authorities.
No
I mean,
kidding.
just seeing pictures of this event, it's an insane amount of people.
It is.
Federal police digital intelligence services were on board as well. A spokesperson for Lady Gaga said, "We learned about this alleged threat via media reports this morning and confirmed that her team was unaware of any potential risks prior to or during the show. And since everybody's okay, it's worth pointing out that she broke a record for the highest attended concert by a female artist in Brazil for this show." So
right on.
that could have been, it could have gone a completely different way.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. In Bowie, outside the frame, photographer Philippe Oliak shares his intimate and unseen photographs of David Bowie, capturing the icon in both legendary and human moments. His lens offers a unique perspective on Bowie's world, from stage performances to private moments. Through his sharp eye and pen, Oliak reveals the incredible journey of following Bowie for nearly 3 decades, showcasing the man behind the icon. Over 150 photographs will be in this collection. I am super interested in seeing that.
Right on.
Yeah, very cool. This is interesting. Let's dive into fashion, shall we?
Why not? When aren't we?
Right. I mean, you walk in every day, it's just a fashion billboard.
Yep.
Nike fans are scratching their heads over the brand's latest headline-grabbing release. I actually think these are awesome. A pricey pair of sneakers that comes out of the box looking scruffed up and dirty. For a whopping $130, you can buy a pair of Nike Air Force One Low Dirty Triple Whites, which may arrive looking used, but are promised to get cleaner in time. Quote, "The more you wear it, the cleaner and crispier it becomes. It's that simple." This is according to Nike. "The dirtiness is merely a, quote, scratch-away texture that wears off. So it looks like crap, and then if you wear them and they become clean."
And And
where were these when I was 8?
What is the purpose? What is the point? Why would someone spend 1 minute thinking about how to make this happen?
Because I bought a pair of Chucks when I was maybe in like junior high or high school, and they just looked too freaking clean. So I put them on and walked over to a dirt pile behind my neighbor's house and just got them all nice and dirty. I'd never want that dirt to go away.
Man, I can remember very clearly getting a pair of like dress shoes as a kid. Very, very rarely did anything come to me where I was the original owner.
Right.
Just hand-me-downs. But I got a pair of dress shoes, church shoes as I called them.
Yeah.
And walking in the parking lot that first day and just having to scuff them up because it was basically like you're on ice skates otherwise. And just that feeling of like, oh man, I gotta break these things in. Just so stiff. I mean, one 60-minute mass, one walk to the car and then in and out and back home, and my feet were just killing me. But I'd look at the bottom and I was like, okay, all right, we're on our way here. I mean, there's something about new shoes. This thing going in backwards, I don't get it. But why do you want your shoes to get cleaner as you wear them? I'm just confused.
Here's the thing. To answer your original question, why would anybody spend a second thinking about this? I have actually flipped sneakers. I appreciate and love sneakers. As big as Jordans, for example, have become, they're constantly on the clock of coming up with something new and different. And they may not always hit, but you've always got to be innovating and doing different things and trying to get people to buy sneakers. That's your job.
A whole part of the world I'm thrilled not to know anything about. It is always TV and movie season. There's always something to watch. There's always something to catch up on.
Agreed.
I have long since tuned out. Basically, the more CGI is involved, the less I'm interested in watching the movie. I'm just one of those guys. At some point, I'm like, can I just get a story about people doing things that people actually do?
But it
doesn't involve flying.
Sometimes in mixed in with that CGI, there is story though, and
sometimes,
characters.
Right, and I don't care. I just because you're wearing a cape, and instead of metaphors, how about just show me what real people would do? That's just me. I can be that kind of a guy. Sometimes
you're allowed.
I'm a little over it, but at the same time,
get off my lawn.
Put it this way: I'm a big fan. I don't need CGI. I would much rather know that Nicole Kidman actually peed on somebody. Don't put that in. Don't CGI it. Let me in on that reality. How about some of the grossest thing our favorite actors have actually done on film? What's the grossest thing you ever did for your job? What would you ever do? Or the hardest thing you ever did? Were you ever asked to do something? Was success predicated upon you doing something that you look back on later and go, that was... Probably.
I think I lost an NFL picks bet and had to dunk my whole entire head into lube. It was not a pleasant day.
Wow. Into lube?
Yeah.
Wow. Specify.
For hot, sexy time.
Oh. Whew.
Man. Yeah, that's tough.
That's fantastic. I'm trying to think off the top of my... other than just... donate my central nervous system to science. I don't think I had to do anything too crazy for success.
I did the dumb, this wasn't work related, but fantasy football bet back in the day, like when I cared about that crap, had basically a reverse mohawk.
Oh, sure.
Middle of the hair had to be shaved, and I had to wear it like that for a week.
Anybody who knows Fletcher when he did this, please send us pictures. 651-989-ROCK.
I did that.
I had hair.
I gave myself a reverse mohawk. That was just drunk in Germany. Because who hasn't been drunk in Germany and seen clippers and had a bad idea? That wasn't a lost bet. It wasn't. It was again. See my previous comment about trying to donate my central nervous system to science. It was it was all I could think to do, and it helped. Oddly enough, to let you know the state of mind I was in, it actually made things better. But sometimes on movie sets or TV sets, actors are asked to do things, for the part they're playing. And sometimes they're just like, yeah, no problem. These are not CGI situations. These are just actual, you got to do this. But the first one, I now have a reason to see a movie called The Paperboy.
Okay.
Nicole Kidman, who, by the way, what's going on? What's her home life all about? Because, my God, that woman works nonstop. Every 6 weeks, I see a new series or a new movie with Nicole Kidman. I kid. She's apparently very happily married, but she's a very busy woman.
Tough to tell it's still her, though.
The Paperboy, easy.
What? I was just saying.
Come on. The Paperboy. This is how you want to know if it's really her or not. Is she squatting over Zac Efron and peeing on him? Well, then that's Nicole Kidman. There's a scene in a movie called The Paperboy where he gets his character. His character is stung by a jellyfish.
Wait.
Her character says, if it stings, then human urine takes away the sting.
Right.
So she squats down and pees on him. Now, Zac Efron did not apparently submit to an actual jellyfish thing, but Nicole Kidman did, however, squat over him and pee on him. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Went right for it.
I think it's probably safer that way.
Bang.
You don't want to. Zac Efron's got a very pretty face. You don't want to mess with that.
I'm sorry, what?
He's got a very pretty face. He's a pretty boy. You don't want to mess with that.
Was he stung in the face?
No, but you don't want to risk that body.
What are we talking about? I'm completely confused by whatever's happening right now. I don't even know who Zac Efron is. It's just a name I hear.
Oh, he's fantastic, man.
He was
great.
one of those High School Musical people that actually made it.
Okay,
and he's a pretty boy by definition.
Yeah. Okay, so what's this off ramp you're on? You're suggesting?
I'm just saying you don't want to damage that
with a
carrier.
jellyfish thing.
Yeah,
or with human pee. Which one are you concerned
No, I think the
about?
pee is. I think the pee is something that you can handle. It's he's still committed. Like that's showing Zach's commitment, but I don't think we need to risk the whatever the vehicle that he is in.
Wow.
By stealing it with stinging it with a jellyfish. That's just not necessary.
I am impressed she did this in front of an entire film crew.
Sure. Just went right for it.
Even if it was reduced or something this is a lot.
I have fright standing at a urinal.
We're ready to shoot this scene. Where's Nicole? She's in her trailer drinking water. I don't know what's going on in there. Halle Berry, for the movie Jungle Fever, didn't shower or bathe for 2 weeks just to get into character.
Damn.
That's
pretty good. I mean, that's pretty stank. But you know what? That's what it takes. If you want to make Halle Berry believable as a crack addict, you're going to have to go to the wall. You're going to have to go pretty extreme to make her look rough and how it takes a lot to make her look rough is what I'm saying.
It does. Do you secretly think she's just not wanted to shower for a couple of weeks and then took the role as finally I have an excuse?
Yeah, I would imagine that's part of it. She just wants to get into that.
Yeah.
It's I'm so sick.
I'm tired of having to look pretty all
the time. Do you know the
pressure?
Not even having, just can't even help it.
Yeah.
She just wakes up in the morning and it's oh, come on, are you kidding me? Stop. Christian Bale very famously does whatever it takes to get into a part. He'll gain weight, he'll lose weight. In the movie Rescue Dawn, he ate real maggots. Just wolfing down maggots.
Were they were raw? Did he get to fry them?
Did
he get to put any paprika or any kind of garlic on them?
I don't believe that he got a chance to saute them in anything yummy. No.
Paprika and some lemon zest, maybe.
Just working it over. Nicolas Cage, very famously in Vampire's Kiss, that's a live cockroach that he wolfs down.
God, there are some more on this list that honestly make my stomach turn, and I might vomit.
People eat cockroaches all the time, right?
They do.
They put them in suckers, don't they?
Yeah.
A source of protein in parts of the world.
Oh, yeah. And they grow quickly. I mean, you're nailing it.
Oh, but you know what? These people, this is what it takes sometimes. You got to make the commitment. We can say these are just pampered movie stars, but hey, man, they're willing to go to the wall. Mm-hmm. Weirdest thing you ever had to do for your job? I'm curious. 651-989-ROCK. Paul Westerberg, to get ready for most of his work, he just opens up a pack of Marlboro Reds and pours himself a nice cocktail. It seems to do the job just fine. We're talking about things people have done to get the part, to keep the part, to succeed on set. We've already mentioned the fact that Nicole Kidman had no problem just peeing on Zac Efron.
Sure.
Highlight of his year, I'm going to assume.
Wow.
The actor Ben Foster is in a film called The Program where he played Lance Armstrong.
Okay.
And he said to get himself into the mood, he took PEDs. He took a lot of performance-enhancing drugs.
Holy moly.
And he said, I wouldn't really recommend it. It took a while for me to physically and mentally recover from taking all the drugs. No word yet on whether at the same time he was doing that, he decided to destroy the lives of some other actors who accused him of taking PEDs. That's how I know you're really getting into the part.
Yeah.
When you decide, I'm just going to go ahead and destroy other people's careers who are accusing me of doing things that I'm actually doing. Mm-hmm. I will forever see Lance Armstrong as nothing short of a scumbag.
Right.
He is dreck. And I was somewhere at a restaurant once, true story, in 2006, and he walked into a restaurant in New York City, and one of the people I was sitting with said, that guy's got some ball coming in here.
Thank you.
And the whole room fell out laughing, boy. That was good stuff right there.
That one actually took me a second. That is good stuff.
No, it was pretty great. Really, really enjoyed it. A couple of texts came in. So we were talking about things you've done at your job, not necessarily in a Hollywood production, but what have you done to maintain employment? This text just came in. In college, I was a nanny, and the child that I was taking care of had lice. They left me a kit to take care of it. The girl had hair down to her waist. It was so gross. Ow!
Ugh.
Jen, I'm sorry about
I was
that.
beyond shook.
I mean,
Beyond shock.
if she was a babysitter, I would say that's not fighting fair by the parents. But if she's a nanny and she's there most of the day, it probably falls under your jurisdiction.
I guess it does,
that's
but
mom and dad stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't imagine like looking at
Pawning
somebody
that off?
and going like, yeah, hey, dude, it's like saying, hey, check my child for pinworms. No, you check your child for pinworms. What the hell's wrong with you? Dustin Hoffman film Marathon Man. You guys seen it?
No, I
No.
haven't.
Really? Never seen
Would you
it?
recommend?
Oh yeah, it's a tough
Okay.
watch. There is a scene where he's acting opposite Laurence Olivier, an actor of some repute.
Yes, maybe a little bit.
and there's a very famous scene. I'll just say it involves dentistry. That's a very tough watch.
Oh.
Very tough. And in the scene at the time, this is a very famous story. Dustin Hoffman, being Dustin Hoffman, to get into the mood, he stayed awake for 3 straight days before they shot it because he needed to be in the mindset. He was awake for 72 hours because he needs to just be completely at his wit's end and going through a difficult time. The story that's been told for 50 years now since they shot this was they were on set and Olivier asked Dustin Hoffman about this. He said, what's going on? And Dustin Hoffman explained to him, well, being the method actor he is, I stayed awake for 72 hours. And Olivier's response was this, well, why didn't you just try acting?
Wow.
How great is that?
Wow.
Oh, well, that's cool, man. You know what you should do next time? Just try acting. And then the audience will assume that you're having a bad day and that you're in really bad shape and that this is painful.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just called acting. It's what we're here to do.
After he did 3 straight days of being awake, why don't you just try acting?
There's getting bitch slapped, and then there's getting bitch slapped by Laurence Olivier.
That's right.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is Monday morning. Good Monday morning. It is May the 5th. Cinco de Mayo. I am, for the record, feeling Minnesota. It's time for some headlines. Paul Fletcher, what's up?
Cheap Trick has a new album, tentatively titled All Washed Up, in the works.
Wow, nice.
In a recent interview, Robin Zander says, quote, it's pretty good. It's Cheap Trick. It sounds like us. It's got some good, bad, and ugly on it, just like all of our other records.
Can you honestly tell me you forgot the magnetism of Robin Zander? The charisma of Rick Nielsen? Come on, man. Who could, I'm always on Team Cheap Trick.
Absolutely. So that's on the way to look forward to. Pee Wee Herman's iconic bicycle from Pee Wee's Big Adventure recently sold at Van Eaton Galleries. The bike was one of only 14 made for the film and has been restored to maintain its original appearance. The surviving elements of the bike have been preserved, making it a valuable piece of film history. And it went for
tons of money.
$125,000 macaroonies.
That's more than tons of money.
Yeah, that's lots of tons. That's tons and tons.
This is one of, what did you say? There was 14 of these bicycles were made for the movie.
Right.
I mean, were they just expecting a lot of problems? I mean, there's one Price is White wheel. The Price is Right. They only have one of those big spinning wheels. That's it. One. Because I got yelled at for approaching it once. 14 bicycles for Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Amazing.
Wow, those are moving. There's variables involved. The wheel is just kind of sitting there.
I was there in the CBS TV studios. There was the Sharon Osbourne TV show in the year 2003. I was playing there on the show with Stereophonics, and we're walking down a hallway, and it's next to where they shoot The Price is Right, and in the hallway there's the wheel, the showcase wheel.
I love
and
the wheel.
We're being escorted by like a CBS page and a security guard.
Right.
And I look over and see it and I go, oh my God. And I just immediately make a beeline for it because of course I'm going to go spin it.
Right.
and the security guard that was with us, and then another security guard who I didn't even realize was on the scene. He popped up out of nowhere like Secret Service. Don't touch the wheel. Like, they freaked out. And I looked at them, I go, sorry, fellas, relax. And they're like, Dad, don't touch the wheel. That's not cool. And I go, can I just spin it? And the guy looked at me like I had asked him for his mom's, phone number.
Oh my
He's like, absolutely not. Do not touch the wheel. Dead serious. And I go, what, am I going to break it? He goes, yeah, you might. I go, what, you don't have a backup? And the guy goes, no. And I go, there's only one? You don't have a backup wheel? I couldn't believe it. They're printing money over there at the Price is Right. One Showcase Showdown spinning wheel.
Think about that. I mean, you know what? If you're the engineer that works on the wheel, that's job security.
I guess that's true.
Dude, I feel like I've seen a picture of the back of the wheel, and it's just unpainted plywood. True or false?
I didn't see the back.
Know?
I just saw it. I just walked up to the front, and then that was it.
I can't believe you don't even know if it's actually that hard to spin.
And then, got on an elevator, and who stepped on the big, giant service elevator with our entire band and crew? Victor Newman from The Young and the Restless, the actor Eric Braeden. I was like, oh my God! And I'm in an elevator full of people from Wales, and they're like, who the hell's that? I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're missing.
Sharon Osbourne was the least exciting thing about that day, apparently.
Without question.
Wow. Nearly 2,000. No, not 2,000. Sorry, nearly 24. That's way different. University of Minnesota students gathered Friday for the annual meeting of Lettuce Club. It's a contest to see who can eat a 1-pound head of iceberg lettuce the fastest.
Wow, fair enough.
I love this so much. And I love these kids being healthy. Mm-hmm. They're being responsible. The winner, Ethan Lai, put down one in 3 minutes and 30 seconds with the help of some ranch dressing, of course.
A 1-pound head of iceberg lettuce in 3.5 minutes with a little ranch. That's kind of good. I think towards the end of that little, the first half pound's going to go quick, and then you're just going to...
You're fighting.
I'd hit the wall.
Dude, you're fighting. You got your teeth. This is roughage. You got to use your teeth.
And I'm a lettuce guy from way back, but I don't know if I could do a whole head of lettuce in less than...
Were you into lettuce before everybody else?
Always. Always. Are you kidding? Day one.
Brazilian authorities arrested 2 male individuals for allegedly plotting an attack on Lady Gaga's free concert at Copacabana Beach, which drew over 2 million fans. Think of how badly this could have gone. The suspects were planning to use improvised explosives, including Molotov cocktails, according to police. No explosives were found during the operation, though. Authorities said the two are a part of an online group promoting hate speech and attempting to recruit other teenagers for acts of violence. Despite the threat, concert proceeded without incident. A spokesperson for Lady Gaga confirmed that her team was unaware of any potential risks prior to or during the show. Man, imagine being a part of the management team, etc., that has to keep that from her and let her just go do her thing, assuming they understand everything is in control and whatnot.
That's a great result. Glad to know nothing went wrong. And then I just can't stop it. I can't help but think about the fact that 2 million people went to the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
That in itself is terrifying for me. I would not be happy on a beach with 2 million people. I wouldn't be happy on a beach with 2,000 people, but that's just me.
That's fair.
And Lady Gaga went ahead and set a highest attended concert by a female artist in Brazil during that show. So,
that's quite it. I wonder what the highest attended concert in Brazil generally is. I know Rod Stewart. I remember years ago he had for a while held the record. Mm-hmm. They love the Young Turks down there, the Young Turks era in Brazil. I don't know if that's true.
You feel like those Brazil, like the festivals that they do. It feels like
Carnival?
It's like 5. Yeah, there's that, and there's a rock one too. But it feels like there's just a swarm of people for every one of those. Like I feel like 250,000 is like a light day for them at these festivals.
Oh sure, yeah,
it's crazy.
It is the Rod Stewart show that drew about 3.5 million fans.
Wow.
New Year's Eve 1994 is the most attended in Brazil.
3.5 million people. That's insane.
Right?
That is nuts.
Hey, everybody in the Twin Cities, let's all go to the same beach. It's absolutely insane.
How you feeling in the back? Wait, what about those that can't even hear me anymore because they're so far away? Holy cow, 3.5 million people. In Bowie, outside the frame, photographer Philippe Aliac shares his intimate and unseen photographs of David Bowie, capturing the icon in both legendary and human moments. Through his sharp eye and pen, he reveals the incredible journey of following David Bowie for nearly 3 decades, showcasing the man behind the icon. This collection is, you know what, I couldn't find a release date for it, which sucks. You would think they would want that information out there. But this collection of over 150 photographs is coming soon and provides a vibrant tribute to Bowie's genius and the bond between the artist and his privileged witness.
I like a lot of David Bowie stories, and one of my favorites concerning this song, you're playing Rebel Rebel, he was in a hotel in London some years back, and he had a morning interview. He was going to get up for some big press junket thing, and he was in his hotel, and he heard from the room above him somebody with an electric guitar trying to teach himself to play this riff on Rebel Rebel.
Okay.
And you could hear someone like, and I've heard both people in the story tell this story. I mean, I've seen the clips of both of them.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there, and he was like, oh, my God. And it's just like classic Bowie. He's like, I'll just have to go show it to this idiot because he's driving me crazy. So he goes up one flight of stairs, knocks on the door, opens it. It's John McEnroe. And John McEnroe opens his door to see.
John McEnroe?
Wow.
It was during Wimbledon, and McEnroe was there as a commentator. And he opens his door, and Bowie's standing there, and he goes, oh, God, just give me the guitar. And he walks in, picks it up, shows him how to play it. Now, please, let me go to bed. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff.
I love old
that's
Dave.
amazing.
Let me help you with that riff.
It would have almost been better if it was just some random schlub. You know what I mean? It would have been great. But
It's good either way.
McEnroe's great, too, though. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Disney is gearing up for the release of the live-action version of Lilo and Stitch on May 23rd. I know Steve's really excited. It's my 8-year-old is very excited. And they've got a seemingly unlikely collab coming from Spam. But it turns out, the movie takes place in Hawaii, and apparently Hawaii's known for their love of Spam.
Absolutely.
course.
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't I know this?
Come on, man. It's all about spam these days.
Get to that museum in Austin, dude.
I live in a bubble, apparently. So their limited edition collectible cans with Hawaiian-themed artwork and Stitch on them makes a lot of sense then, I guess. Holy
Absolutely
moly.
does.
Lastly, Nike fans are scratching their heads over the brand's latest headline-grabbing release, a pricey pair of sneakers. Air Force One low dirty triple whites are going for $130. Here's the trick. They come looking like you've beaten the tar on them, like you've been wearing them for months, and they clean as you wear them. And so they end up being super white.
What is super white?
Like
I don't
crisp
know.
and clean. Like they're going to be clean, like white off the rack. Basically, according to Nike, the dirtiness is merely a scratch-away texture that wears off as you wear it. The more you wear it, this is a quote, the more you wear it, the cleaner and crispier they become. It's that simple.
We can invent self-cleaning shoes, and we can't invent a highway that doesn't need to be repaved every 18 months. Okay. Good thing we're glad to know we're working on all the most important things. In the world of sport, tomorrow night at Target Center, Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals, the Minnesota Timberwolves will face the Golden State Warriors.
Got what you wanted.
Let's go back a couple years ago. Draymond Green put Rudy Gobert in a headlock and had a 5-game suspension on the back end of that. These two guys do not care for each other. Draymond Green, word on the street, has always been jealous over the fact that Rudy Gobert has 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, whereas Draymond Green only has 1. By the way, I can see his point. I mean, Rudy's a fine rim protector, but Draymond Green is on a whole nother level in a lot of ways. But here's the deal. Since neither one of them really ever scores, they don't at least have to worry about guarding each other. Yeah. They can just do whatever they're going to do. But anytime you get Steph Curry and Anthony Edwards, the aging towards the end of the run, Steph Curry, with the now fully ascendant to superstar level Anthony Edwards, that in itself is that's enough drama for me. I'm looking very forward to the series. I'd like to see it go 6 at most. I just don't want to see Golden State in the words Game 7 ever. Right. I don't care if it's at the Target Center. 7-game series against teams with that experience, they don't seem to go well. That's just basic basketball math right there, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Hugo, Minnesota, we're thinking about you.
What's taking Hugo up north?
Come on, Hugo. Glad to have you with us this morning. We do appreciate it. Hey, the KQ Bestest is up and running. If you go to 92KQRS.com, you can vote for a whole number of categories. What is the bestest in the Twin Cities? A very, very important topic near and dear to my heart after Foo Fighters.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the Morning is back. 92 KQRS.
If you go to 92KQRS.com, you can vote for Minnesota's bestest, the bestest of Minnesota. Sponsored by our friends at JTR Roofing. We got a lot of categories you can vote for. And let's just get right to it. This one, very important to me. I just want to throw it out there. Best omelet. Best omelet. I'm all about breakfast. If you told me you can only have one meal for the rest of your life that you eat out, it's breakfast. And I like to make a breakfast. I feel like I'm good in the kitchen with breakfast, but I love nothing more than sitting down at a restaurant for breakfast. Okay. And by God, best omelet. This is worth an argument about.
Okay.
So do you have a stance on the 5 that are out there?
Without question. It's a no-brainer. And this goes back well over 30 years for me.
Okay.
Because the first time I ever found myself at a Keys in the Twin Cities, and I ordered what they used to then call the everything omelet, which is just the omelet with, wait for it, everything.
Oh, right.
I sat, this is early 90s, and I thought to myself, I have summited. I am at the top of Everest. There's nowhere to go from here. And I, to this day, believe that's the case.
All right.
Now they changed it. Now they call it the Keys omelet. Like if you get the menu, formerly the everything omelet. I still say I want the everything omelet. I'm sorry, I'm never going to change it.
On the menu, does it literally say formerly the everything omelet?
Yes.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
But now they call it the Keys omelet. And I'm like, nah, sorry, I still got to go with the everything. Now, that's not to say that I don't appreciate Hazel's Northeast, a fine establishment.
Yeah.
And Fat Nat's never hurt anybody. I can't say I've been to the Good Day Cafe in Golden Valley, although apparently I need to make plans. And I've not been to the Valley Diner in Apple Valley, but I will get around to those. If they're on the list for best omelet, I'm going to be there.
I'm shocked and hurt a little bit that Lindy's in Osseo isn't on here because that place that's my childhood / adulthood. Like that place is legendary. It's had 3 different locations in the area of Osseo, constantly upgrading. Now they've got a massive dining room because they just are so good that they're constantly full. Lindy's should be in. Where's Al's Breakfast?
What?
I checked on Al's Breakfast and they don't actually serve an omelet.
They don't serve an omelet?
I know, dude.
Because it seems weird to have a breakfast category.
They got the scrambled eggs and stuff like that, but they don't go. Wow. They keep it pure.
That's
no
it.
mixing it up.
Ryder, what's your omelet choice, Ryder?
I don't eat the omelets because they got the eggs and they're freaking gross.
Oh.
Wow.
Wait, this is so you don't go for eggs?
No.
No way.
But my favorite go-to breakfast place that I'm going to tell other people about is called Hope Breakfast Bar. There's one in St. Paul. There's one in St. Louis Park.
Yeah.
Egan. So I really dig that. But
So what do you get, though, if you don't eat an omelet?
What do you mean? There's. Have you seen the menu at Hope Breakfast Bar? It is endless.
Yeah. No. So what do you get?
The last time I was there, I had some kind of like grilled cheese French toast kind of thingy, and they gave you a cup of tomato soup with it. It was, And this was breakfast time, but I was still loving
French toast with a cup of tomato soup. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. You can pretty much put a cup of tomato soup next to anything, and I'm going to be excited.
Oh, yeah.
The breakfast sandwiches at Hope are pretty phenomenal. That's what I've had there.
Fair enough. KQ, so it's, 92KQRS.com is where you can vote all the bestests of... And we'll be giving you the results, in a couple of weeks?
May 19th.
Yeah, we're not gonna hold it out over your head. That's less than 2 calendar weeks from right now. That's very exciting. All right, so there you have it. If along the way, I'm sure there's categories here for best ice cream, best milkshake, best banana split. Or here's one favorite of mine. Best place to go in and get your ass kicked because you're impatient over getting your Blizzard. That would be a Dairy Queen. And this is referencing an actual story. A little story out of East Liverpool, Ohio, which is shockingly not east of Liverpool, Ohio. There's no Liverpool. There's just East Liverpool. I don't know what was going on back then. Yeah, look on the map. If you can find Liverpool, Ohio, point it out to me. All I see is East Liverpool. A few days ago, there is a Dairy Queen, and during a shift change, as people are coming in, punching in, some people are leaving the kitchen. A gentleman came in and ordered himself a late lunch, early dinner, if you will. He was waiting for his food. He was waiting a little longer, started to get impatient, and he decided to take matters into his own hands. By which I mean, he walked around the counter, walked into the kitchen, and started attacking the staff physically. What? First things first?
Sometimes you need your Texas toast and your chicken strips.
I guess so. First things first, he just walks right up to one of the women working there, making food, and just throws a punch, a wrecking ball right. Oh, yeah. And
literally slugs her.
And there's video and there's audio. And by the way, not the first time she's ever dealt with that because she was basically unfazed. Afterwards, a few of the employees talking about the scene.
He started screaming, and so then the lady was like, there's no need to scream, which was the coworker that got attacked, and then eventually he came back there and assaulted her.
People are people and things are going to happen. I just didn't want anybody else to get hit. Or, we're in the kitchen. There's knives, there's hot grease. Homeboy could have had a gun. I mean, we never know. I didn't want anything to escalate, so I was just like, you're going to sleep.
She's by which she means she jumped on his back. This is that woman you just heard speaking. Homeboy could have had a gun. That's who he punched right in the face. She took it like a champ and then ended up on his back administering a sleeper hold to this, as it turns out, 61-year-old gentleman. It's hard to make it out on the audio, but I believe what he says is, this is another in a continuing series of bad life decisions I've been making for decades. I think that's what he said. Well, that's actually not what he said. That's what was happening.
If you're going to walk into the kitchen and get into a fight with somebody, don't pick the one person that has neck tattoos.
Yeah, that's always a good.
That's a very good.
Don't let her diminutive size fool you. She's got tattoos on her throat. She's gonna fight back.
Our kids love Dairy Queen, so we do go from time to time, and we will occasionally get food.
Okay.
Whether it's food, ice cream, and we love Dairy Queen. All right. Doesn't matter which location you go to. They definitely have a service time issue. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just a maybe it's a not well-oiled machine. It's almost every time we go, whether it's simply getting blizzards or actually getting a meal, we wait and we wait. Never has it occurred to me to go behind the counter and strike somebody. That said, maybe speed things up a little bit.
Made to order. It's fresh.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to let you know the next time I order food from a Dairy Queen. I'm one thing, peanut butter parfait. That's it.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Okay,
That's probably and it's been I can't remember the last time I was in one. But when I used to go, that would be the order every time.
Interesting. I mean, you can't really go wrong with a classic like that.
Well,
very famously, when summer is here, when the Dairy Queen on East Lake Street opens, and that's the one in my neighborhood, you can't walk inside. It's just, here's your peanut butter parfait, get out of the way.
Sure.
And that was actually pretty speedy. So maybe that is the problem, is they're doing too much.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it is definitely, it's been almost every single time we've gone, and let's just say that's 5 times over the last year-ish.
Yeah, gotcha.
Every single time.
There was something I read once, and it said if you think you're from a small town, the way to determine that in the Midwest is, did you have a Dairy Queen? And if the answer is yes, no, you weren't from a small town.
Small. Yeah.
If you had a Tasty Freeze where people were sucking down chili dogs outside, then you were in a true small town.
Oh, fair enough.
That's the way to know it.
There.
Nice weekend for the Gorman family up on the North Shore there.
I'm concerned you headed up north too soon. Like, it's not sweaty and there's not a ton of mosquitoes out here, and you don't need to escape from them yet. I think you may have popped too early on this up north thing.
It was all about the meteor shower. It was all about getting up somewhere where it would be pitch black and seeing a lot of shooting stars.
This Rosemary and her space thing.
That's it. That's exactly what it was.
And was that fruitful?
It was very fruitful. Now, Friday night, it was still very overcast, but as the weather did predict, we got. It did. So woke up Saturday morning completely clouded, gray fog everywhere, and then by like noon it had all blown over.
Nice.
Beautiful sunny day, beautiful clear night, I should say. And we stayed up late, man. It was midnight. We were still out there checking out. Oh yeah, no, seriously. We went for the gusto.
Did you spot any wildlife?
Saw a couple of chipmunks. That was about as much as we got. There was a reports in the Cascade National State Park area. There was a bull moose making the rounds. We were looking for him, didn't come across him.
Snubbed you.
Yeah, and I was doing all the moose calls and stuff. Moose, the way you do. You're hiking, you're checking out the waterfalls. You're hiking, and you see other people, and then you look through the woods, and you're like, "Is that a person or is that a moose?" And so you yell. You do the moose chant. Nothing. Empty-handed the whole way.
No Sasquatch either, I'm assuming.
No Sasquatch either. Nah, but went up to Grand Marais. First time to Grand Marais. I'd been up close. Never made it all the way. Mm-hmm. Walked out to the old lighthouse. The whole thing on the water there. Man, it was fantastic. Mm-hmm. No one ever told me it was nice up there. I'm kidding. That's all anyone ever says is, you got to go to North Shore.
Yeah, I'm going to contrast Ryder and just say there's no bad time to go, in my opinion. I mean, maybe if the roads are terrible. But outside of that, no real bad time.
I did notice, speaking of the roads were fine as far as the weather goes, and I know they've got other things on their mind up there in Cook County, but just, come on, seriously. I'm so used to the road work down here all the time. We could get a fresh pavement up there, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. You're driving along, you're in St. Louis County, you go past Duluth, you're like, man, I'm on the high. And then all of a sudden you cross into like Lake County, it's like, huh. And then by the time you hit Cook County, it's just like, it's like wow. And then, of course, I said to we were talking about it, and I go, of course, look at the map, look where we are. The fact that there's any roads paved, I should just be thankful.
I was just going to say, because then you're going to come up there, go up there, and it's going to be 2 lanes down to 1 lane, and there's going to be a guy out with a sign saying hold and go and stop and go.
But see, when they do that, I'll stay away. See, I won't bother me at all. I'll just go somewhere else.
Crafty.
Well, you won't know though until you're there.
And didn't get the pizza that you recommended.
Spinanoli.
I know.
Legendary.
Saw it, and I was like, I've heard everyone. That's that place people talk about, and we just didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Next time.
All right.
Next time.
You did stop at Betty's Pies. And
We
as
did?
soon as I walked into the studio this morning, there is a Betty's Pie box, and I just want to thank you so much for remembering that I am not a cake eater.
It's the most I could do. On the way down, on the way back down. Yeah, man. We see Betty's, and like, you know what? Let's spread a little pie love for the guys on the show.
Did you stop and have a piece yourself?
Yes, Rosemary and I split a 1 piece of pie, and then we brought the whole pies down for you guys. And because A, I'm just that kind of a generous guy, and B, my wife's the kind of person who says, you should get pies for Ryder and Paul. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Thanks, babe. So
Thank you,
really credit to Rosemary.
Yeah, fair enough.
As much as I mean, for the last few hours, I've been acting like a great guy. It's all her.
You know what though? I'm gonna keep looking at your face in a very positive light today. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not gonna just let it all go over to Rosemary. You get credit too, okay?
Rock that.
That's
bad
just
boy.
how it is.
I pulled over. I turned in.
You drove. Yeah, you did the work of signaling.
I did.
You signaled, right?
I did the best I. Of course, I always
good.
signal.
Cool.
Yeah, it's the original text message.
I like that.
See,
Good.
you like that?
Signaling is the original text message. I like
What's coming up in the next few hours here, Paul Fletcher?
Hey, so in the 10 o'clock hour, I'm going to play music from Mighty Joe Young, or at least that's what they used to be called.
Sure. I know who you're talking about.
Also a song that the singer received death threats for.
Oh.
Plus requests. Help me fill the playlist. 651-989-ROCK. Send me a text. Those are best.
Fair enough. That's plenty of things to look forward to. The Mighty Joe Young, death threats. It's a veritable rock and roll
cornucopia
bonanza.
Or bonanza.
Up
either
there.
one. Yeah.
Hey, it's time for the last word. Along the way, earlier in the show today, we were discussing baby names, and especially names that grandparents don't like, and the fact that people involve their own parents in naming their own children, which is, of course, a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Here's a text I meant to get to and didn't. Jeff wrote, Jeff from La Crosse, Wisconsin. I just met a girl named Grimace.
What?
Like
she goes.
Purple.
Yeah.
Come on.
What,
Exactly.
From McDonald's?
Grimace. She goes by Grim. And I know the grandparents hate that name.
Does anybody like it? I mean,
what if she's like not goth? Like, what if she's like a bright, happy, sunshiny person and is still stuck with this name?
I wonder if her favorite color is purple.
There's no getting around it, man. Grim.
It's tough.
Well, Grim, we're thinking of you, sweetheart.
That's a tough beat.
Just
Cheers to you.
Keep on keeping on, Grim. Tomorrow on this very show, we're going to play a little game we call WTF.
Yeah.
And we're going to be giving away tickets to see the Sex Pistols. This is not an audio drop from 1977. We're giving away tickets to see the Sex Pistols this year.
Yeah, buddy.
Looking very forward to that. Right now, we're going to hand the car keys over to Mr. Paul Fletcher. Enjoy that, and we'll talk to everybody in the morning right back here on Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.